Okay, today folks, we have a really good one for you. This is Eggs Benedict. It's probably my favorite breakfast dish, which I also eat for dinner a lot. Well, not a lot, but enough. So the ingredients that we're going to need for this are obviously English muffin. We're going to toast those in a pan. I've got lemon juice, and I have some white wine vinegar. That's going to be for the Hollandaise sauce. I have a little bit of smoked paprika and some dill. That's just going to be for garnish at the end. And then this is a chunk of Canadian back bacon is what it's called. It is just a cured pork tenderloin. We're going to cut little slices of that, fry it up, and that's what's going to go on our English muffin. And then, of course, eggs. So the first thing that we had to do to get ready for this was clarify some butter. Now, you don't need to clarify butter, but I think it's going to look better. Maybe it has a less chance of breaking. I don't know. People usually use clarified butter for this. I'm assuming there's a good reason for it. So all I did was heat up some butter in a pot. As you can see, there's just some milk solids that's going to gather on top. And I'm just going to skim those off with a spoon, just like that. And then you'll probably also have some milk solids form at the bottom of the pot. Now, this doesn't have to be perfect. We're not doing award-winning dishes here. So after you're done skimming, if you just pour slowly into a pot, it'll leave behind all the solids that collect at the bottom of the pot, like so. And then you're left with just some nice clarified butter. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we are going to make our Hollandaise sauce. So I have a pot here with just a little bit of water in it. You don't need a lot when you're making your Hollandaise sauce. Your dish, you don't want it to touch the water at the bottom. You just want to use the steam to cook the egg that we're going to put in here. So I'm just going to separate some eggs. You only want to use the egg yolks. I'm going to do about 3 egg yolks for this Hollandaise sauce. If you have a large amount of Eggs Benedict, then use more eggs. If you are not using as much, then you could do 2 even, maybe even 1. But Hollandaise is so good, you should never just do 1 because you're going to want more. So we're going to crack our egg on a flat surface. There's less chance of getting eggshells in our egg that way. Then we can just open it up like so. Let the egg white drain through your fingers into the dish, and then egg yolk, just like that. Another way you could do it is if you pour this back and forth, but in my opinion, this doesn't work anywhere near as well. And you're just going to sit here and pour forever. So I don't recommend that way. And if you use your fingers, you can kind of pinch that little bit off that sticks to the egg yolk. Okay, so we have our 3 egg yolks. Now we need something acidic. So I have some white wine vinegar, which is what I recommend to use. And you want an amount of vinegar that's sort of equal to the 3 egg yolks that you have. So maybe like a tablespoon-ish. A tablespoon of vinegar and 3 eggs. That looks about right. This isn't baking, so you don't have to be perfect. Now, what you're going to do is we're going to take this over to our double boiler. Like I said, you don't want the water to be too high that it's touching the bottom. So what you're going to do is you're going to, over the heat, you're going to whip these eggs, like so. And you're just going to keep doing this until they start to thicken. Now make sure you whip. You have to constantly whip. You can't not stop whipping. If you stop whipping, you're going to end up with scrambled eggs. If you feel like it's getting a little bit too hot, then just take it off the heat and keep whipping, and then you can put it back on the heat if you're unsure. Either way, we're just trying to get some air built into this and to heat it up enough that it starts thickening. Once it gets thick enough, then you can start adding your butter. Well, we'll do that all in time. I've seen online that there is a blender way you could do this. I've never actually tried it, so I don't know if it works very well or not. For me, I don't really like washing blenders. I think it's a pain in the butt. So as you can see, we're increasing a little bit in volume because we've been whipping a lot of air into this. And we're starting to get a little bit thicker. If your pot stays on the burner, that's going to help out too. A little bit thicker still. The thicker you get this before you start putting your butter in also, the less chance you have of it breaking. Thick without cooking. You definitely don't want to make this into scrambled eggs. Oh, that's perfect. So that's exactly what I'm looking for right there. Look at that. Just like that. So now we're done with the heat. You don't need the heat to do the rest. Now we're going to add our butter. I want to show you guys a little trick because you need 2 hands to do this, but you don't want your bowl sliding all over the place. So if you take a towel like that and just make it into a circle, You can put your bowl into that towel. Now you can whip without the bowl spinning and moving all over the place. So we'll take our butter. Again, while mixing, you want to pour this very slowly and mix at the same time. If you don't do it this way, your chances of it breaking go up dramatically. Also, before I forget to tell you, you want to approximately add as much butter as you have egg here. So I'm looking to try and about double this in volume. And as you do it, you'll see it's going to have a nice, beautiful sheen from the butter on it. Now, don't be scared to add lots of butter. This is a butter sauce. It's definitely not going to be the healthiest thing you're going to eat, so you might as well enjoy it. This is about perfect. I mean, just a little bit more butter. All right, so we got our Hollandaise sauce here. Now, obviously, at this point, it's just a little bit of vinegar, egg, and butter, so there's not going to be much flavor to it. So give it a little taste. Tastes like butter. It tastes good, though. We're going to add just a little bit of lemon juice to give it some more acidity and a bit of flavor, as well as a pinch of salt. So I'm just going to give this another little taste. A little bit of lemon juice. Now we're at this point. You want to just check and make sure your consistency is what you're looking for. Also, guys, if you want to add a little spice to this, I mean, I've definitely seen it a lot. You could use a little cayenne pepper or something like that just to give it a little bit of kick. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. The flavor is good. Now you want to just double check your consistency, because obviously I added lemon juice, so that's why you want to make it nice and thick to begin with. So when you add your lemon juice, it's going to be the right consistency. I think I'm good here. This is about what I'm looking for. If you needed to get thicker, you could put it back on this and heat it up some more and it will get thicker. If it's too thick, then you could just add a little bit more lemon juice and thin it out a little bit more. But this is perfect. So I think we're good with our Hollandaise sauce. So we're just going to put that over here. I think the next best thing, so we're done with our water, we're done with our Hollandaise sauce, and I need the space for the ham and the English muffin, so I'm just going to get that off there and get this pan on and heating up. So next I'm going to just cut some slices of this back bacon, and I'm going to get that cooking in the pan. Now, if you buy pre-sliced, obviously that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I just bought a chunk of it. This way I can also determine the size of my slices as I want. If you want it a little bit thinner, you could even put this on a slicer and get it super thin if you want just like a crunchy saltiness from it. If you want like a good meaty piece, then you can cut it thicker. So obviously you could do something a little bit thicker like this, and that's going to give you a more meatier bite. And you could do this on a slicer or a mandolin, or if your knife skills are good, you could do that. Or you could cut it a little thinner, and that's going to just make it more crispy. I'm just going to get these starting to fry off so I can get them ready for when we're putting together, because I want to be able to toast my English muffin in the pan after, so we can get some of the flavor that this is going to leave in the pan back onto that English muffin. What the hell is wrong with me today? Okay, so we're just going to go in with a little bit of olive oil. We'll get these frying. Now, most of the time, you're probably only going to put one slice on, but I personally like two. I mean, I'm definitely the carnivore type, and I love the taste of the back bacon. I'm usually putting 2 pieces on my eggs Benedict. While I'm waiting for this to cook, I've got my water for the eggs ready. Now the eggs are going to take about 3 to 3.5 minutes. I don't want to be doing a whole bunch of stuff while I'm doing this, just because I don't want to overcook the egg. I don't want to burn the back bacon. So I'm just going to do this separately. There's no need to rush it. I'm just going to salt the water a little bit. I already put some apple cider vinegar in here. You want to have a vinegar just to hold the egg white a little closer. When you drop the egg in, it's going to make it form instead of just going out everywhere. And it's going to give it a tiny little bit of flavor as well. And I really love apple cider vinegar. That's why I use that stuff. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Just get some color on that. Should have probably used a flipper, but that's looking absolutely beautiful. Our back bacon is definitely ready. We got color on both sides, so we're just going to get that out of the pan. Like I said, we still got some little bits of delicious flavor in the pan right now. A little bit more olive oil, and we're going to toast our English muffins. Okay, so our English muffins are nice and toasted. Now we're just left with poaching the egg. And I normally would have done this while I was doing other stuff, but I want to be able to talk to you guys and show you guys how to do this. As I mentioned, we have our water, a little bit of salt, and probably a good couple tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. So what I'm going to do now is we got our water a little bit boiling. I mean, you could even have a little bit less if you wanted, like just a shimmer heat. But what you don't want is a vigorous boil because that'll rip your eggs apart. So we're just going to start spinning this till we get that vortex going in the middle of the pot. We're just going to crack our egg, again using a flat surface, and get it into a dish. This is going to make it easier to put the egg into the water. And then we can just drop the egg in the middle, just like that. Just moving it a little so it doesn't stick to the bottom of the pot. You definitely want to make sure you're using a slotted spoon when you go to take the egg out so the water can drain out of there. And we're just going to put it on a little bit of paper towel just so we don't have a pool of water. So like I said, about 3 minutes, depending on how you like your egg. I mean, for eggs Benedict, you should like your eggs runny. I mean, for anything, you should like your eggs runny, but there are some weird people out there who like them cooked and sulfurous tasting. I don't never understand it, but those people exist. If you do, just cook it a little bit longer, but try not to overcook it. And as you can see, like if you do it that way, I don't have egg all over the pan floating away from our egg here. I mean, it's almost perfect. So I think we are absolutely just perfect right now. I think we're just perfect. It is going to cook a little bit afterwards as well. When you pull it out, make sure and season it. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. This is important. When you're putting together your eggs Benedict, you definitely don't want a very bland tasting egg with Hollandaise sauce, which isn't the most flavorful thing in the world. Definitely make sure you season your egg. Make sure you're using a salty type of protein or salmon. If you're using salmon, make sure you season it properly, stuff like that. So let's get our dish. We have one ready here with some fruit on it. So we're just going to pop our English muffin right there. We're going to put our back bacon on. Like I said, I like a little bit more of a meatier bite, so I'm using a couple pieces. We have our egg, just going to transfer over just like that. And we're just going to go over top. Don't be stingy, guys. This is the best part of the eggs Benedict. I mean, let's be honest with each other. We're not eating this for the poached egg. And then just as a garnish for some color, we're just going to add a little smoked paprika sprinkled over top. I really liked a little bit of chopped up dill on top of that. And there we go, folks. We have one very gorgeous, the best, beautiful, there is no better. This is the best eggs Benedict with a homemade Hollandaise sauce and some fruit on the side just to make the plate look good. You know, it doesn't get any better than this for breakfast or dinner. I can't wait to dig in. Let's get the kid over and give it a try.
So I have my father's eggs Benedict here in front of me. I'm excited to dig in, but first we're gonna look at the yolk. Because if this is overcooked, I'm gonna send it back. I'm gonna throw it in his face. We'll see what it looks like for you guys. Yes, good. Okay, we have a runny yolk. I'm gonna cut off a slice with everything on it and take a bite and tell you guys what it's like. This is a really good eggs Benedict. In general, of course, eggs Benedict has like an amazing Hollandaise sauce, which is just butter and lemon essentially, which is just such a great combo. And then like the egg, like the taste of the yolk goes really well with it all. It's like nice and I don't know, it's like rich and it's good. It's just so good. The dill adds a nice little thing of flavor, and the texture of the back bacon, it's like a little bit like, I don't know, not like chewy, but like you bite into it and you can like feel it, and it's got that like meatiness. It's just all around very good. And if you really wanted, you could change the dill for like some green onion or something if you're not a huge fan of dill, but overall, really good. 9.5 out of 10. It's really nice, really good.